everybody. Thanks for stopping by. If this is your first time, hello and a warm welcome. If you're returning, hello and a warm welcome. I hope you're all doing good. Today I am making a pincushion jar, and I thought that I'd bring you along. This is the one that I've had for a long time, and all it was a plastic jar I got at the Dollar Tree. And this used to go around, it was for around your wrist, but I glued it onto the top with some Fabri-Tac, and I've been using it for probably 2 years. But it has really outgrown itself, especially during this season. I mean, I've got so much embroidery floss and junk in here, and this top is just a total wreck. So I thought that I would come along with you and ask you if you would like to make one of these kind of pincushions with me. And I can't remember the name of it, but I will as we go along. But they're very simple, and you could come out with such a cute item for your desk for, your threads, needles, things like that. Now, I'm using a bigger jar because I want to be able to get my little scissors, and this one, I couldn't get my scissors or my, this. I couldn't get that in there. I always lose my words when I get on camera. So, this was a canning jar, but it was my mother-in-law's. And what I did was I took the top off like this, and I just glued it with E6000 like this. So when I took it off, it would stay on, okay? So that's what I've done. And then when I'm done with my pincushion, I didn't put that on right, sorry. When I'm done with my pincushion, it will get glued on top of that, which I painted with some chalk paint just to get rid of the gold. It was very gold. And I wanted to show you something really funny because my mother-in-law and I were the same people. Look at her thread. She did not throw away anything. Can you see that? There's like 1, 2, 3, 4 different colored threads on that spool. I love these spools. Let's see. There was another, this one. This one's got 3 colors, tan, green, and navy. And then this one's just navy. This one's green and black. So anyway, I have a ton of them, but they were all in this jar, and I used to just keep it in my sewing room, like on my shelf, because I just love it. I love that she was like me and didn't waste anything. Now, I don't think I'd go to this length, but she did. And everything has, she even made little cuts here and there so she could save. She's got another cut here that's been etched out. But she was just, oh my gosh, she would be 108 years old. So we'll put those aside. You don't need those. What you will need is, you'll need some thread. I'm using some embroidery floss, but I'm only using 1 strand doubled. Or you could use 2 strands, but 1 strand doubled. And I already put my threads in my needles so it wouldn't take so long. So you need 1 strand doubled with a knot at the end. Okay? So that's all you need is some thread. You need 2 squares the same size. Mine are 4 by 4. This is 4 by 4, but you turn it over a 1/2 inch. Okay, so it was 4 by 4, but I turned it over so it ended up being 3 by 3. Okay, and then you'll need some buttons and a pencil. So you'll need a square any size you want as long as it's square. And so 4 by 4. So if you want to make it 4 by 4, you have to make it 4.5 so you can turn it over, a 1/2 inch all the way around. 5. You have to make it 5 inches so you can turn it over 1/2 inch all the way around to get your 4 inches. Okay. Then you want to take, and then this one I hand stitched all the way around, and then I hand stitched it together. But this one I just sewed on the machine because, yeah, it's faster and I wanted to do a video, So anyway, so what you're going to do is you're going to take one of your squares, it doesn't matter which one, and you're going to turn it over, and you're going to fold it because you have to find the middle, okay? So just fold it over like so, and then fold it back where your middle is, put your pencil there, and just draw a line. And you're not going to see it, so don't worry about it. So just draw a line so you can see that line on that side and on this side. Okay? I'll bring you down just a little bit more because I am going to be stitching. There we go. I hope that's not too bad. Is that too close? I don't think so. So here's one line. Here's the other line. Then I'm going to flip it over, and I'm going to do the same thing on this side. I'm going to fold it because I need to find my middle, like so. And just press it with your fingers. You don't have to press it with an iron unless you want to. And then just kind of lift it. Here's your middle. And here's your middle. Then you want to fold it again. And you want to fold it again, like so. And then you want to take right here, and you're not going to see it because there's going to be a button there. You want to just put a little pencil mark here. Okay, there's going to be a button here, so just make a pencil mark there so you can see it. Okay, so that's all you have to do, and that's all the only time you need a pencil. So let me just get this a little bit darker so I can see it. I'll pull it down here a little bit because there we go. Hope I'm not getting my head in the way. Okay, so then you want to take your next piece of fabric, okay? And you want to take this piece of fabric and line it up with one of your corners. So I'll line mine up right here, okay? Like so. Then I'm going to take my needle and thread. So I'm going to have this on the right and this on the left. And I'm going to line it up, this corner, with this line. Make sure it's lined up and your top is lined up. Then I'm going to take a needle and thread. I hope this doesn't last too long because I really want you to see it to the end, because I'm going to be doing, since I can see again pretty good, I'm going to be doing some slow stitching in the new year, and take you along because it looks so cute in your journals. So you want to get underneath there so you can hide your knot, and then you're just going to sew it like this. Begins with a B, the type of pincushion I'm making. And I think they're pretty popular in Europe. I saw it on Pinterest, and this was actually cross-stitched across, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to sew it like this, like whip stitch it. If you know what whip stitching is, it's just you're coming over here at the very, very top and putting your needle through. And you can use any color thread. It's going to show, so just choose a color that you like. I was going to choose pink or the aqua, and then I just thought, I'll just go with white. So you just want to go in like that and come out like that and pull it. So I'm not going to go crazy. I'll just whip stitch it across. Like, I'm not going to be very precise, if that makes sense. I'm going to be kind of, because I can always make a dozen more. I am going to make a little basket, like my little trash basket that I learned from Rachel at Roxy Creations for these to go in. They're like little saucers. But for this one, I'm going to make, I'm going to put it on top of the jar. I hope I hope it fits on top of the jar. I don't know. If it doesn't, oh well. So you've got your wrong sides together, okay? I mean, you're right, yeah, your wrong sides together. You know, where you folded it over. So you're just gonna go across like this. Oh, you need stuffing. Forgot about that. It's right beside me. So you need 2 squares and some stuffing. And then if you want a jar to put your things in for your desk or for near your sewing machine, you need a jar. Mine are all short, so I decided I'll just use my mother-in-law's. It'll be nice to have something of hers on my desk. And I'm always using needles and thread and what have you on my desk. Just tuck that in a little bit. Sorry, it's kind of hard doing it this way, but just get that underneath there. Doesn't really matter. Don't have to be so fussy. It's just a pin cushion. But it's a cute pin cushion. I think you'll love it. It's different. I want to say it's like bolognese or bolognese. Can't remember. Oh, and I'm just using an embroidery thread needle. It's just sharp. So that's why I like to use these. You can get them at any sewing store. Oh no, did I get a knot in there? No. So you go all the way across like this until you get to the end, and then you knot it. Okay? Like so. It's very simple. And it doesn't take long at all, and it's just 2 squares and some stuffing and buttons. And you have the cutest little pin cushion. Okay, now I'm gonna knot right here, and you could put a pin there to hold it if you don't, you know, if you can't hold it with your fingers. I'm just used to holding everything with my fingers. Okay, so I put a little knot there. Now I want to take this and I want to match it up to my next pencil line, which is right here. So I'm taking this corner, okay, see? I went across like this. Now I'm taking this piece and I'm going to this corner. And I'm going to line that up like so. This I'll probably pin. Like so. Where's my corner? Okay. That's why your squares have to be square. Like they both have to be the same. Because they have to match up. Hold on one second. Let me just get... And I'm just going to hold this here. Okay. So... now you're going to do the same thing. You're just going to go across and stitch it. And do it from this side. So you can see, and I can see that it's matching. So then you're just going to go in here. And go all the way across until you're at your end. And like I said, I won't take up all your time with teeny tiny little stitches, but it does look good with teeny tiny little stitches. See, I'm just going around it and stitching it. Oh dear. But be careful, don't get a knot. yeah, don't hurry. This is supposed to be relaxing. It's slow stitching. I figured if Rachel could do it on video, I can do it on video. So I figured I'd start with a pin cushion for everybody to keep their pins in. And I'm no expert at slow stitching. I do very primitive slow stitching. So you'll really enjoy it. I have some really cute things that we can make that you can give as gifts or keep it as yourself or put in your journal, things, you know, for your journal. And so, yeah. I don't usually, I hope you can see what I'm doing. See, I'm just kind of whip stitching it like this, making sure I get my threads tight enough, which some of them aren't, but that's okay. Like I said, I'll just do it kind of primitive because like I can make more if I want, which I won't. This is going on top of the jar. Pinterest is a fun place, but you can be on there a long time looking for new ideas, right? And the person who made this, she's not, this was like in, I think, 2012. So it's not, she doesn't have a blog anymore. So I couldn't even, you know, text her. I had to kind of figure it out. I mean, message her on her blog, because her blog doesn't exist anymore. And she did a lot of embroidery. I'm sure people have made this before. I mean, especially in the slow stitch community. I haven't been following, except Rachel from Roxy Creations. I don't really follow many people. Oh, and Rachel, Bella from Bella's Crafty Studio. Oh my goodness, she does great work. And she's a great teacher. So now I'm going to knot that because I've come to the end. So I just made a little knot there. Okay. I'm pulling my threads very tight. Now, you want to take this corner and match it up to this corner. And I'll take my pin. Okay, so now you've got it like this. You're taking this corner and you're matching it up to that pencil line, like so. This is where it can get a little bit confusing. That's why I'm going so slow. So you match this corner. You've put those two corners on. You're taking this corner and you're putting it here. Not here. You're putting it in the middle. And line it up to this corner. Okay? Like so. And then take your pin and then pin it here. Okay? Because you know that that's matched up. And then you want to pull this. Sorry. You want to pull this way. Okay? And you're going to sew across. Oops. Pull this out. You want to sew across here. Just leave that there because you pinned that over there. That was where your corner is, okay? You've pinned that there. Now you want to stitch. You want to keep stitching. Okay, does that make sense? So it looks like that. It kind of looks wonky. I'll do it one more time. You're going to take, let me put this pin down. You're going to take this and you're going to now pull it over to here, push it down in the corner like so. So it looks like this. And then, let me just make sure it's there on the pencil line. And just put your pin there. Okay. Then you want to take and go across here and keep stitching. See it happening? It's kind of forming now, it looks a little wonky, but it won't be. So then you just keep stitching. And I'm just going to pull this like this. The problem with having, okay. So keep this down. And if you want, just to make sure you're doing it right, you can take another pin and pin this here. And that way it won't come loose and you don't have to hold it, okay? So don't worry about this. It will fit in, I promise. So then I'm going to do it from this side again so I know I'm catching it. There we go. And then just, this is called whip stitching, when you just go around and around and around. And you could do it on your sewing machine. By all means, you could do it on your sewing machine, but that's not slow stitching. So, and this is the first part of my slow stitching series for the year, is making the pin cushion. And then if you want to make a jar from it, by all means you can. And if you don't, then you can just have it as a pin cushion, like the one I have there. But I'm going to get a little bit more fancy, of course. Not fancy, really. I just need some place to put all my junk. And that's full of junk. I mean, there's a lot in there that doesn't belong in there. It's just, you know, with Christmas and everything up, and just putting things in there that, you know, I'm using every day. Like my silver thread, my gold thread, my green thread, my red thread. So I'll put it all back. You know, where I keep my embroidery floss, which is just in, you know, a box of, you know, embroidery floss box. It's clear and they all slide in there. Most of them are on plastic. If they came on cardboard, then I left them on cardboard, but if they don't, I have little plastic ones that I unthread. Like I'll take this and I'll put it around this, but it's plastic. And that way your thread stays pretty nice. And this is cotton DMC. You know, just like regular thread. It's just a little bit more sturdy, so. So I'm trying to not get my thread around that needle because it'll get caught. All right, I'm going to take this needle out and just keep going until I'm at the end. Oh, I didn't go around there. And see how I'm just doing the edge. Okay, now see, this all lines up. So go ahead and take your needle out, make sure it's lining up like so, and then go ahead and put your needle back in and keep stitching. We're not going to stitch closed all the way around because we need to put the stuffing in. Where are we? 24? Okay, I think we're good. We're almost there. Because we're not going to sew up the bottom yet. Let me just be real quick with this. I think you get how to do this part. I'm just going to go a little bit faster because I don't want you. I want you to stay till the end. See how I'm just doing that edge? It's so nice to be able to see again, to be able to do this. I mean, I do have very special glasses on, but even with those, for the past couple of months, I haven't been able to. I have another doctor's appointment Friday, but I think I'm going to be all set. My glasses may have to be adjusted just a little bit, and I'm praying I get the okay to drive, because I haven't driven in, I think, 2 years. Could be a little bit longer. For those of you who don't follow me, I had a tumor in my left eye removed and cataracts in my right. The tumor was non-malignant, but it took away a lot of my vision in my left eye. So I've got, I think, 30% vision. I might have even more now. We'll see Friday. There we go. So then I'm going to put a little knot here because I'm at the end. And you just go through and, oops, don't get it. Make sure that you don't get the knot. Oh dear. My knot's too close. Hold on, folks. I might tuck that. I'll just tuck that under. So now this goes here, right across like this. Right where you're stitching, you're going to bring this across like this, okay? Right, and just keep stitching. I'm going to tuck that little piece of thread underneath. Maybe. Because when I pulled my knot, I got a little bit of thread there. Let me just put that under there. I might have to get some water. So sorry. So then just bring it across like this, okay? And just keep stitching. You can pin that if you want so that you stay, because it does look kind of wonky and you might get confused if you don't pin it. And see, you just keep stitching right across here. I might have to get another needle, but it's threaded, so it won't take long. We had tornadoes so bad the other night, and they came so close, so close. And then my husband was telling me it's the greatest story. I mean, it's horrific, but you probably read about it or heard about it at least. A baby 3 or 4 months old got literally sucked out of its house during the tornado and was found in a tree alive. I couldn't believe it. Tornadoes scared the heck out of me. Of course, nothing should scare me after 145-mile-an-hour winds for 9 hours during Ian, but tornadoes? Oh my goodness, they're terrible. My daughter-in-law was caught in one. She was in Hobby Lobby. She had left Hobby Lobby with her daughter, my granddaughter. And I'm gonna just take this and I'm gonna push it underneath here. See here? Because I need to knot it. It's not enough. So I'm gonna push it under here and just make a knot underneath so you can't see it. And so anyway, they were in Hobby Lobby. Everything was fine. I'm going to cut this very close to here and get another needle, which is already threaded, and hopefully not have to get another one. And so they left Hobby Lobby, and she wanted some Chick-fil-A, so they went over to Chick-fil-A. They live in Georgia. They went over to Chick-fil-A, and all of a sudden it started pouring rain, lightning, thunder, and a tornado. They put everybody in the cooler, the walk-in refrigerator, the walk-in cooler. I just want that not to be underneath so I can't see it. So just take your pin out if you have a pin in there. Stick that underneath. And then keep stitching until you get to the end. And so they put everybody in the walk-in cooler. And when the tornado passed, Hobby Lobby's roof was gone. Yes, crazy. I don't remember if anybody was injured. I can't remember. Walmart was like right across the road. That was completely gone. There was a Home Depot that was ruined. That was just about, I want to say last fall, this past fall. So see how it looks like this now? Because all we're doing is keep going around like a square almost. You could always go back and put it in slow motion by tapping it and that little wheel, and it goes in slow motion. But I don't think you need to. So now you want to take this, and there is your line, and you want to match that up with that and go across the same way. But don't, we're not going to do that yet. In 1 second we are. I hope this fabric looks good because it's got words on it, but I didn't care because it matched good, and it's pretty. But I can use either. You can use either side when you're done. So let me get that under here so I can start stitching it, and I'm going to put a pin right at that line so I see that line. See there? That's where I'm going to pin it, and I'm leaving that open. And that way it holds it, and I know that it will stitch right. Okay, let me do this really quick. Oh, I didn't do that right. That's all right. I'll just go back over it. Sorry, I'm whispering. I don't know why. This is when it gets tough for me. After I've stitched for a little while, I have to start blinking a lot. Okay. So now this is the last part, and then we're going to stuff it and stitch it up and put the buttons in. Why am I putting buttons in, you ask? Well, you'll see. Well, you probably already saw, because I think I have one in there. I just I mean, I could slow stitch all day long. I think it's the most relaxing, therapeutic thing in the world. And I have missed it so much. I've done a little here and there, but I've really missed it. I used to cross stitch and embroider all, well, not so much embroider. My mother-in-law did a lot of embroidery, and oh gosh, she did everything. She did crewel work. She did made beautiful, knitted beautiful sweaters. She made my father-in-law's suits for work. I mean, she was amazing. I still have my sweaters that she made me. I can't knit. I can crochet, but I can't knit because I can't follow a pattern. I don't know why. I just can't do it. It starts off perfect and then I lose it. So this is good for me because I don't have to pay attention. So I'm going to knot this at the end, but carefully so I don't get it knotted. All right. Then I'm going to knot it again just to make sure it doesn't come out right through here and here. And then I'm going to snip it and I'm going to stuff it, and then we will sew it up and put the button on. So let me just get the stuffing, and I'm just using some polyfill. I have a ton of this because I used to make little stuffed toys for my grandchildren. I never made them for my children because I don't know why. I just never really was into making stuffed toys then. They kind of got me into it, the girls. So, and you want to take little pieces at a time. Don't take like a huge chunk. And I have a skewer, but I don't think I'll need it. I think it will fill up fine. Where are we in time? 37? Okay, not too bad. I hope you stuck with me. Oh yeah, that's gonna look nice. It says choose joy, and that's what I really wanted. When I saw this little piece of fabric, I thought, ooh, perfect. And I just ironed down, you know, I measured a 1/2 inch and then I pressed it down. I have a little craft iron that I can't live without. Because I even iron paper sometimes, it has to be ironed, so. Just me being me. But see, it does take a lot of stuffing, but you want to go little by little and stick it in those corners because you want your corners stuck good. And you could use, there's something called needle sand, but if you're stitching it like this, you'd have to stitch it really very, very close. And that keeps your needles sharp, but I don't really care about that. I've never had one with needle sand in it before. It's not, you know, it's just for slow stitching, so it's not that important for me. You can also use steel wool for like the very top. You can use some, you know, just a little bit of steel wool, and that would be nice. I don't have any, so if you do, you could put some steel wool right at the top, like here, and then stuff it. And that would keep your needles sharp, I guess. I mean, that's what I've heard. But see how much stuffing it takes? It takes a lot. But you want to do little bit by little bit. Because, yeah, you just want it to be nice. I mean, after all that work, you want it to look nice. And then just kind of stick your finger and push that stuffing into your corners. Like that. And I think just a little bit more. And I can sew that up. And then put our buttons on and we're done. And then I'll show you how we're going to put it on top of the jar if you want to put it on top of a jar. You can get any kind of ball jars. You know, you could get these and make it smaller if you don't want to put a seam ripper or a seam ripper. That's what it is. If you don't want to put a seam ripper or scissors or anything in your jar, then you could use a smaller jar. So I am not going to sew this actually. I am going to show you how it's sewn and I'll pin it. How's that? Well, I'll stitch this side just so you see what it looks like, because we're not that far. Or you could go, you know, to the end and see, because that's all I'm going to be doing, and I can't stop my camera and stitch it and then start my camera again because I use my phone. And I can do it with my with the program that I use, but I've lost 2 videos doing it, so I'm not. Okay, let me find something with a knot that has a knot. So I'm going to go underneath here to hide my knot. See, like that. I just want to show you how to sew the buttons on. Sorry. So let me just get that here. And I'm whip stitching it again. So, oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. I'm probably too close. So you're just going to sew right along here. And I'll try and be fast, just so you can see how cute it is when it's done. I was going to pin it, but then I thought, I need to stop doing that and finish. Because, like I said, you could always skip ahead to the end and see what it looks like. But it's so relaxing. And so simple because you're only using 2 pieces of fabric, but it's so darn cute. And like I said, we're going to make a little saucer out of fabric for it to go into, but it's going to be sort of braided. But if you want a jar, you know, I'm going to make another one and have it ready so that when I do the little saucer for it to go into, if you don't want to put it in a jar, we'll do the saucer, and then, which is very simple. I mean, I did a whole basket. Right now it's full of scraps, but I'll show it to you in a minute. I think you know what it looks like. I think you've seen it before. It's kind of braided. I did mine on the machine, but I'm going to slow stitch the next one. Well, for this, you can slow stitch it because it's so snug. It's so tiny. Oops. Oops. I'm getting a cramp in my hand. Sorry. So I'm at the end of that one. I'll put a little knot. And now I just need to push that down and sew this side up, and we're done, except the buttons. And we need 2. One needs to be, if you're going to put it on the jar, one needs to be bigger than the other. And one needs to be flat if you're going to put it on the jar. Well, this is the way I came up with putting it on the jar. You don't have to do it that way, but it's the way I've figured out how to put it on the jar. Like, okay, so now I've got it made. How am I going to get it onto the jar? Because it's kind of round, you know? And that's how I'm going to put it on the jar, with this flat button. Because I already tried it with that one. I haven't glued it or anything, but I thought, that will work. And then the button on top, as you can see from the other one, is for your needles and thread, or just your needles. You don't necessarily have to have them threaded like I do all the time. And I don't always have them threaded. I always have a white one threaded because that's the color I use the most. We're almost done. I can go back over this and put in some more stitches if I need to. So I'm just going to do some wide stitches. But I didn't want to show you the wrong way. So keep those stitches close. Okay? And then when you get to the end, make sure you tuck that in. There's a stitch there. I just want to tuck it in. Like, I like to show people the right way. There's no sense in showing people the wrong way. It's very easy. Even if you've never, if you can sew a button, you can do this. I promise. Because that's all you're doing is going through the fabric and out till you get to this end. And then, before I do anything, I'm going to make sure that all my corners look good. And I've got enough stuffing in there. Not that I'm going to take it out with you all here. That's crazy. Is that not the cutest? It's the cutest. Just the cutest. So now what I'm going to do to finish it off is I'm going to go inside here. Excuse me. Come up here. Okay. And I'm going to go back in through here. And then I'm going to come up through here. And then I'm going to come back through here. And I'm just going to come up through here. And I'm just going to snip it right here. That's never going to come out. Okay? So, now for the buttons. Oh my gosh, it's so cute. Oh, I love this fabric. Just kind of smush it a little bit. Like this. I know what I'm going to use for the top, and that's going to be this. This had like a flower coming out of it, but that's okay. But I do like Choose Joy. So just kind of do this in the middle, and that will push everything to the sides because your button's going to go here. Remember we made the little X? So I think because of this, I was going to use the light pink, but I think I might use the darker pink to go with all the dark pink. So now what I'm going to do is sew that button on with this thread because it's the longest. Oh, wait a minute. No, I'll use this one. Is this knotted? Yes. Okay, so I'm going to go where my X is and go through here. And I'm going to do that a couple of times right where the X is, because that's your middle. Trust me, it is. Okay, now I'm just going to snip this little thread so it doesn't come out the side of my button. Okay, so then you take your button, go through here, and you want to use one with, you know, fairly decent size holes. Then you're going to come out underneath here and come out the side, just for now, just to get it anchored. Then take your thread and position your button the way you want it and go around your button. like this underneath your button. Then come back up through your button. And you want to go through your button all the way to the underneath middle. Trying to get it through the middle. And it seems like it is. Yep. I should have put a little mark there as well, but I didn't think of it. Okay, so there's that one. Now for this one, and you want one for the bottom anyway. I didn't get right in the middle, so I'm going to position this where I think the middle is. And I'm going to put it through here. And you could use one of those buttons if you're not going to put it, you know, on something. Like, well, that one I used a larger one so it would keep it flat, you know. But you could use any button. This I just thought would be good because, well, it's a wooden button. I thought it would be good because it will hold it. Now pull that thread, but don't pull it too tight. And you want to go back up and try to get that needle through the hole. And you might have to move the button so you can see your needle. See your needle right here? You need to go through the hole of the button. So pull it up through, like this, and then go through the hole of the button. Once you do that once or twice, and pull it till it's taut, but be careful not to break your thread. And that still looks like it's in the middle. Let me just move it just a tad. That looks good. And pull it just a tad, kind of hold it, because you want this to be kind of like pushed down into the middle. And then push this through, and see, it will come right through that hole. Once you put it through once or twice, it will meet. It should meet right up with your hole of your button. It should. Come on. You can feel it. There it goes. See? Like this. And then pull it tight. But not too tight that you're going to break it. And just do that a couple of times till it's kind of pushed in. Good. And that should go right through to there. Like I said, this is the hard part. But you do need a button on the bottom. Well, you don't have to, but. So I'm just going to pull that. I'm going to go in through here, but not through my fabric. I'm going to go under it. Like so. And then I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go around my button like this, because that really anchors your button so it doesn't come through. And then I'm going to just go underneath here and knot it off so you can't see it. Like this. And knot it. And I think I'll do one more. It's really tight, so it's kind of hard to get in there, but you can. And it's wrapped around that a couple of times, so you don't have to really worry about it. And just give it a good pull. And even if it breaks, it's okay. I was going to cut it anyway. And there is your sweet pin cushion. Is that not adorable? So now I'm going to take my jar, and that's going to go on top, but I'm going to put something around the jar. Where are we? 54. Okay. You don't have to stay for this if you don't want to. But I'll show you what I'm going to do, and then I'll show you how I'm going to fill it. But I thought, that what I did was I painted that gold chalk paint with pink chalk paint. And it took like 2 seconds, and it took 2 seconds to dry. But there is my pincushion. Now, once I put this on, and I'll put it on with Fabri-Tac because I'm going to wrap it around, and then I'm going to Fabri-Tac it to this side over here. So I'll start over here, and I'll press it down with Fabri-Tac and hold it. But then I'm going to put Fabri-Tac on that piece and hold it, okay? And that will be it. And then you have a pincushion where your needles and thread can go inside your button like so. That's why you want one with, you know, a little bigger hole so you can get 2 or 3 needles in there. And just cut that so it doesn't get in your way. So there's, you know, that's a bigger needle. That's a bigger needle. That's why it's so tall. It's for, you know, if I'm using more than one strand of thread. So now I've got my needles in there, right? And my pins in here, like so, however many you want. And then I'm going to, after I put my ribbon on here, okay, I'll smush it so that it's nice and even, like this. And I will glue this to this, probably using E6000, just to make sure that it stays, you know. And then I can take, and my seam ripper will fit in there, and my little snip scissors. And then if you wanted to, you could put some white embroidery thread in there so you always have it. I have, what else? I have so much junk in here. I'm embarrassed. You could put a little bit of lace. This is from my friend Celeste. I always keep a little bit of lace just in case I need it, so I don't have to get up. It's like, oh, I have a little piece right there. And then you can fit your tape measure in there. And what else? I always keep a few sewing clips in there, just in case. Thimble. And then, of course, you know, because it's been Christmas, I've been keeping my silver and my gold thread in there. But I really don't need to. I can put that away now. I've got green, red, gold, silver. But if you wanted to put a spool of thread in there, a color that you use a lot, you can do that. So I've got now scissors, seam ripper, some lace, a spool of thread, what have you. And then this will go here, like so. And then this will go there. And you'll end up with something that looks like, let me take all these out because this looks very bad. But I wanted to show you how bad it looked. And then you'll have this, but it will be larger because I wanted to be able to get things in there, so I'm not leaving them in with my paper things, you know. So here's some more needles, which I think, yeah, I mean, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 needles in there. And then there's a bunch of needles, more needles, more needles, more pins. Okay, so let me move you up a little bit. Sorry for being in your face the whole time. And there you go. I mean, even these, if you don't have little ones. I have my mother-in-law's embroidery scissors, but they're in with my bag. But no, those wouldn't fit. But, I mean, I think that's all I use for sewing. So, yeah. So that will go on here after I put some lace on it, like this. And then this will go on top. And that's how it will look. I hope that you enjoyed that video because I did. It worked. So this is a 4x4, and I think this is like maybe a quart-sized jar, but it really doesn't matter. I mean, it looks adorable on top of that as well, you know, on top of a smaller one. Or nothing at all. Just use it on your desk like that. Okay, and I'll show you what we're going to make. Let me just get my scraps out. Do I want to take my scraps out? It's fine. This is what we're going to make for this to go in, but it's going to be this big, and this is going to go inside it. This is years old. This is at least 3 years old, and I made it with my sewing machine, but we're not going to make it with a sewing machine, and it won't take more than 30 minutes to make this. Okay, so I made this in 30 minutes, but I used my sewing machine. Kind of goes like this. It was flat from being on my desk, but it'll be a little saucer like this, and then your pin cushion would go in here. We won't have obviously all of that, just that part. But I like the jar idea because, you've got everything right there, and then, to cover up your edge, you can use ribbon or lace or what have you, and you've got just the cutest little pin cushion on a jar. Isn't that adorable? So cute. And I'll remember this. I can't remember what they call them. I'll have to go back on Pinterest, or I wrote it down. I think I wrote it down. I did write it down. I wrote everything down so I could find it again. And I saved it too. I think I did save it. So that's the bottom, that's the top. You could have either side, your bottom or your top. It doesn't matter. You decide. But I like that Choose Joy. So, hope you enjoyed that video. I had a great time. Thank you for stopping by, and I will see you again tomorrow. God bless you. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye, everybody.